Hey, this is Katie from KT and the Squid. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this super easy, beginner-friendly infinity scarf, as well as talk to you a little bit about this yarn from King Cole. And this is a yarn that I received from King Cole. I am a King Cole ambassador, so this is a yarn that they sent me to try out. So it is a DK weight yarn, and it is 30% wool and 70% premium acrylic, and it comes with a generous 324 yards per skein. So they have a good amount of yardage in each ball. So the thing that caught my eye about this yarn, is why I wanted to make something with it, is because it has this long striping, long color changes, which I thought was really pretty and fun. Also, something to keep in mind with this yarn is that it is a single ply and it has a bit of a halo to it. I don't know if you can see that. So the difficult thing about it is it's hard to frog. So if you're gonna try and make something with this, just be really careful and try not to frog too much because it can be a little bit difficult. So I've been working on revamping some patterns on my website, and this was an older pattern of mine that I made in a yarn that's no longer available. And I knew it was a really easy, quick project to work up, so I thought it would be perfect for this yarn because I knew I wouldn't have to do any frogging at all. I wouldn't have to deal with that. And so when I say this project is beginner friendly, I mean it's beginner friendly. My daughter has been crocheting for a few months now, and she saw me working on it, and the stitch is a little bit different from a normal double crochet, and she asked what I was doing. And so I showed her, and she said, whoa, you could do that. And within like a few minutes, she was trying it and she was able to do it with no problem. So it's very beginner friendly. And we'll go ahead and jump into the project, and I'll show you how to make this scarf. If you'd like to purchase this yarn, I will link to a King Cole stockist finder. You can put in your location and find a local yarn store that stocks King Cole yarn. If you don't have one available near you, which I don't, you can find this through Lovecraft, so I will put a link to that as well. And then the scarf pattern, if you'd like to see it written out, it is available for free on my website, so I'll put a link to that as well. So for my scarf, I just used one skein of the Riot, and like I said, that is 324 yards, so you'll need about that much to get the same size scarf that I made. But if you wanted to make it larger, of course you could use more than one skein. I'm also using a 4.5 millimeter hook, which is a hook size suggested for this yarn. You can use any hook that is appropriate for the yarn that you're using. And the great thing is there is no gauge swatch or anything for this project, so you can go ahead and jump right in. So to start off, you're going to make a chain, and this chain will be the length of your scarf. So what I did was I did about 2 yards, which the way I measure that is I hold the chain to the tip of my nose and then I reach my arm out, and that's about 1 yard. So when my chain is long enough to do that twice, I know it's long enough, and that's how long I made this scarf. So I'm going to make a smaller sample for the purposes of the video, so I'm just going to chain a random number, and you can do any number. Doesn't matter how much because it's just going to be one stitch, and you can start with any number of chains. So once you have your chain, you're going to start working in a circle. So we're going to join to the first chain, and you want to be careful not to twist your chain. So what I like to do is kind of run my finger along the chain and make sure that they're all facing the same way. You might have to kind of turn them like this. And then you'll find that first chain and you'll join with a slip stitch. And I like to work into the back bump so that the bottom of my chain looks similar to the top of my scarf. So I'll join with a slip stitch. And this, we're going to chain one, and this first stitch is going to be a little bit shorter than all the other stitches so that there's a gradual step up. So I'm going to do what's called a herringbone half double crochet to start. So to do this stitch, you're going to yarn over And the first round is a little bit fiddly, I will warn you, but after that it gets a lot easier. So into that same chain that we joined into, you're going to insert your hook. You're going to pull up a loop, and then you're also going to pull that loop through the first loop on your hook. And then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through both loops on your hook, and that's a herringbone half double crochet. So for the next stitch and every stitch around, you're going to do a herringbone double crochet. So it's very similar, but there's an extra step. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through that chain and the first loop on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two. And that'll make a herringbone double crochet. So we'll do that again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull through the chain and the first loop. Yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two. And that's the entire stitch that you're gonna do for your scarf. So again, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through the chain, pull through the first loop, pull through one, pull through two. So you're going to repeat that all the way across until you get back to the beginning of your round. So I'll go ahead and do those and show you what you do next. So here I worked into the very last chain, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep repeating that stitch, but I'm going to work into the stitches of the first round. So I'm not going to do a join or anything. These are going to be continuous rounds, which I think is really nice for this scarf because there's no joins or anything to break up the stripe pattern. As you can see, this is where I started, and there's no joins, so it's just a continuous stripe pattern. And if you'd like, you could place a stitch marker to mark the first stitch of your round, but it's not necessary because you're just, the way that I did it is I just ended wherever I ran out of yarn. So you don't have to end at the beginning of a round. You can just finish off wherever your yarn runs out. So I'm going to do a herringbone double crochet into the first stitch of my first round. So again, yarn over, pull through insert your hook into that first stitch, pull up a loop through the stitch and through the first loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two. And that's why we did kind of that gradual step up, so that there's not so much of a step up for the next round. So again, we're going to do the same thing into the next stitch, and it's just the same stitch all the way around. And this is a nice relaxing project. You can take it with you on the go. You don't really have to think much about it. You can sit and watch TV, and in the end you have a really beautiful scarf to wear. So again, here is my finished scarf. It's blocked, but I haven't sewn in my ends. And like I said, this is where I started, so you can see there's no join or anything, and there's a nice gradual step up. And when I'll sew in that end, and you won't even really see where I started. So to end, I'm just going to show you how I finished it off. So I went until I had, I don't know, like 18 inches of yarn left about. And as you can see, I did a herringbone double crochet, and then I did 2 herringbone half double crochets, which is what we started with. And then I finished off with a single crochet and then a slip stitch, just to give that a nice gradual decrease. And then I'll just sew that end in. And that's really all there is to this scarf. To block it, I already blocked this. I just hit it with a little bit of steam. I didn't want to do too much because it does have a high content of acrylic in it, so I didn't want to melt it. But steam blocked it really nicely, and like I said, if you wanted to use a second skein of yarn, you could make it double this size and it would be a nice big cozy scarf. So here's the finished scarf. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.